but should also consider effects of the act in the long run. One should not only consider one's own gain and losses, but should look to see the impact made on the public. What we do right now may be good, but with passing years it may inflict harm upon others. Therefore, what seems like goodness may in fact be the opposite, and what appears to be the opposite of goodness may someday turn out to be goodness done after all.
Father, what is improper goodness and proper goodness?
In the Ming Dynasty, there was once a prime minister named Wen Yi Liu, who, when growing old, retired to his hometown, where he was loved and respected by all. Once, a drunken villager proceeded to insult him. Mr. Liu thought that since he was drunk, he would not want to bother about the latter. A year later, the same man committed a grave crime and was sent to jail with the death sentence. Upon hearing this, Mr. Liu said with great remorse, "If I had taken him to the authorities for punishment that day when he came to insult me, perhaps this would not have happened. A little discipline then could have prevented the great harm done now and might have saved him from certain death." This is an example of doing something bad while having good intentions. There is also an example of those who did good when they in fact intended otherwise. Once a famine ravished the land, and people stole food from others in broad daylight. A rich family reported their stolen losses from the marketplace to the authorities, but the government did not want to get involved and did nothing to stop the people. Eventually, the people grew more daring and chaos was imminent. So the rich took the law into their own hands and proceeded to catch and punish those who stole from them. In this way, peace returned to the land and the people stole no more from one another. It was with selfish intentions that the rich family acted, but the result of their deeds actually did everyone a great benefit. For we all know that goodness is proper and evil is improper. But remember that there are cases where deeds done out of good intentions result in evil, and deeds done with evil intentions result in good.
Father, what is half goodness and full goodness?
In the I Ching it is said, when a person does not accumulate kind deeds, he or she will not attain good fortune. When one does not accumulate evil deeds, he or she will not bring about great adversity. If we are diligent in doing kind deeds, it is like collecting things in a container, and with diligence it will soon be full. If we are somewhat lazy in our collecting, then the container will be half filled. This is one explanation of half goodness and full goodness. Once upon a time, there was a poor lady. This lady went to visit a Buddhist temple and wished to make a donation. However, she was so poor that she had only 2 cents, so she gave these to the monk. To her surprise, the temple's abbot himself came forth to help her repent for past offenses and dedicate her merits in front of the Buddha. The lady was very touched by his move. Later on, the same lady was chosen to enter the imperial palace, and she became a concubine to the emperor. Clad in her riches, the lady once again went to the temple to donate, this time bringing thousands of silver pieces to give. To her dismay, the abbot only sent his disciple to help her dedicate her merits. The lady did not understand, and so she questioned the abbot.
Master, in the past, I only gave 2 cents in donation, and you helped me repent. Today, I donate in great sum, and you will not help me perform my dedication.
Amitabha, the money you gave in the past was scant. It came from a true and sincere heart, and it was necessary for me to repay your sincerity by personally performing your dedications. Today, although your donation is much more, the heart of giving is not quite as true and sincere as before. Thus, it is enough that my disciple performs your dedications for you.
This is an example of how thousands of silver pieces are only considered as half goodness and 2 cents as full. Do you understand? Another example is of Li Zhong, an immortal of the Han dynasty. He was teaching his student Dongbing Liu the art of transforming iron into gold. They would use this gold to help the poor. Dongbing asked his teacher, "Will the gold ever change back to iron again?" Li Zhong then answered him, saying, "After 500 years it will return to its original form." Dongbing then shook his head, saying, "In this case, I don't want to learn this art. It will harm those who possess the gold 500 years from now." Li Zhong then smiled and said, "To become an immortal, one must complete 3,000 virtuous deeds. What you have just said came from a truly kind heart. Your 3,000 deeds are fulfilled." When we perform a kind deed, it is best if we can do it out of our innermost sincerity, not seeking rewards or noting in our minds how much we have done. If we practice thus, then all our good deeds will reach fulfillment and success. If instead we always think of the deeds we have performed, looking for a reward of some kind, then no matter how diligently we practice in an entire lifetime, the deeds will still be considered half goodness. For example, when we donate money to the poor, we can practice what is called pure donation. In this type of giving, we do not linger on the thought of I, who is giving, or dwell on the importance of the object I am giving away, or think of who the receiver is. We are simply giving, and it is out of true sincerity and respect. When we give with pure donation, then 1 dew of rice can bring boundless fortune, and the merit from giving 1 cent can wipe away the transgressions of 1,000 eons. If we always keep in mind the good we have done and expect rewards for our actions, then even a donation of thousands of liang of gold would still be considered half goodness.
In that case, how can we define big goodness and small goodness?
Once there was a high-ranking official named Zhong Da-wei, who was led into the spirit world to be judged for his good and bad deeds.
Don't be alarmed. I have summoned you to the spirit world to let you know about your past good deeds. Can the judge bring out his records of good and evil deeds?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, I'm younger than 40 years of age. How could I have attained such a bad record?
When you have a single thought that is